The US and China are the world's two largest economies. They are deeply interconnected through trade. However, this relationship is fraught with tension. Since 2018, the two nations have been locked in a trade war. This conflict has seen tariffs imposed on billions of dollars worth of goods. The trade war began under the Trump administration. It has continued, albeit with some modifications, under the Biden administration. At the heart of the dispute are concerns about unfair trade practices by China. These include intellectual property theft and forced technology transfer. The US has also accused China of manipulating its currency. This makes Chinese exports cheaper. The US has imposed tariffs on Chinese goods to protect American jobs and industries. China has retaliated with tariffs of its own. The trade war has had a significant impact on both economies. It has also created uncertainty in global markets. This essay will delve into the intricacies of the US-China trade war. It will examine the key issues, the impact, and the potential outcomes. A key point of contention in the US-China trade relationship is the large trade deficit. The US imports significantly more goods from China than it exports. In 2024, this deficit reached $295 billion. This is a decrease from previous years, but still substantial. The US argues that this imbalance is unsustainable. It points to unfair trade practices by China as a contributing factor. China, on the other hand, argues that the trade deficit is a result of market forces. It highlights the demand for Chinese goods in the US market. The US has sought to reduce the trade deficit through various means. This includes imposing tariffs and negotiating new trade deals. However, the issue remains a significant point of friction between the two countries. The trade deficit is a complex issue. It is influenced by a variety of factors, including differences in labor costs, currency valuations, and consumer preferences. Addressing the trade deficit requires a multifaceted approach. This includes addressing concerns about unfair trade practices, promoting US exports, and encouraging domestic manufacturing. The US-China trade war has been characterized by a series of tit-for-tat tariffs. This has escalated tensions and created uncertainty in global markets. Here is a timeline of key tariff events in 2025. February 1st, the US imposed a 10% tariff on a wide range of Chinese goods. March 4th, the US raised the tariff to 20% on those same goods. April 2nd, the US implemented a 10% tariff on nearly all remaining imports from China. This included a 34% tariff on certain strategic goods. April 4th, China retaliated with a 34% tariff on a range of US imports. April 7th, the US threatened an additional 50% tariff on Chinese goods if no agreement was reached. April 9th, China responded in kind, threatening a 50% tariff on US goods. April 10th, the White House confirmed a 145% tariff on a significant portion of Chinese imports. April 11th, President Trump announced exemptions for some technology products. However, he threatened new tariffs on other electronics, semiconductors, and pharmaceuticals. These tariffs have had a significant impact on businesses and consumers in both countries. The tariffs have increased the cost of imported goods, leading to higher prices for consumers and businesses. The US and China trade a vast array of goods. Understanding these key imports and exports is crucial to grasping the economic stakes of the trade war. US exports to China. The US primarily exports agricultural products to China. Soybeans are a major export, along with other oilseeds and grains. The US also exports aircraft, machinery, and high-tech components. China exports to US. China's exports to the US are dominated by manufactured goods. This includes electronics, clothing, toys, and furniture. China is also a major supplier of components for many US industries, including computers and smartphones. The tariffs imposed by both countries have targeted these key sectors. This has disrupted supply chains and increased costs for businesses and consumers alike. Section 5: Economic Fallout. Consumers and companies feel the pinch. The trade war's economic consequences are far-reaching. Both US and Chinese businesses and consumers are feeling the pinch. US impacts. American consumers are facing higher prices on a range of goods. This is due to tariffs on Chinese imports. US companies that rely on Chinese components are also experiencing increased costs. The trade war has also created uncertainty for businesses. This has led to reduced investment and slower economic growth. China impacts. China's economy has also been affected by the trade war. Chinese exporters have faced difficulties due to U.S. tariffs. This has led to job losses in some sectors. The trade war has also contributed to a slowdown in China's economic growth. The economic fallout highlights the interconnectedness of the global economy. The trade war is a stark reminder that economic conflict rarely has winners. Section 6. Technological supremacy, the new arms race. Beyond the trade in goods, the US-China rivalry extends to the realm of technology. Both countries see technological dominance as crucial to their future economic and geopolitical power. The US has accused China of unfair practices in acquiring technology. This includes forced technology transfer and intellectual property theft. China has rapidly advanced in areas like artificial intelligence. China has rapidly advanced in areas like 5G. This has raised concerns in the US about its technological edge. In response, the US has implemented policies aimed at curbing China's technological rise. This includes increased scrutiny of Chinese investments in US tech companies. The US has also imposed export controls on sensitive technologies to China. The competition in technology is likely to intensify in the coming years. This has implications for innovation, economic growth, and national security. Section 7. Global ripples, a world on edge. The US-China trade war is not just a bilateral issue. It has significant global implications. The trade war has created uncertainty in global markets. This has led to volatility in stock markets and currency fluctuations. The trade war has also disrupted global supply chains. This has affected businesses around the world. The trade war has also prompted some countries to seek closer economic ties with either the US or China. This has raised concerns about a new era of economic blocs. The trade war has also highlighted the importance of the World Trade Organization in resolving trade disputes. The trade war is a reminder that economic tensions between major powers can have far-reaching consequences. It underscores the need for international cooperation and a rules-based trading system. Section 8. The road ahead, uncertainty and opportunity. The future of the US-China trade war remains uncertain. The two countries have made some progress in trade talks. However, significant differences remain. The Biden administration has signaled a willingness to engage with China. However, it has also indicated that it will continue to address concerns about unfair trade practices. China, for its part, has shown a willingness to negotiate. However, it has also made it clear that it will not back down on issues it considers core to its interests. The trade war presents both challenges and opportunities. The challenges include the risk of further escalation and the potential for lasting damage to the global economy. The opportunities include the potential for a more balanced and sustainable trading relationship between the US and China. The path forward requires careful diplomacy, a willingness to compromise, and a commitment to a rules-based trading system. Section 9. Conclusion: a new world order. The US-China trade war marks a turning point in the global economy. It is a manifestation of the shifting balance of power and the growing competition between the world's two largest economies. The trade war has highlighted the need for the US to adapt to a changing world. China is no longer a developing country. It is a major economic and technological power. The US needs to find a way to compete with China while also cooperating on global challenges. The trade war has also underscored the importance of the rules-based trading system. The WTO needs to be strengthened and reformed to address the challenges of the 21st century. The US-China trade war is more than just a trade dispute. It is a symptom of a larger geopolitical realignment. The outcome of this rivalry will shape the global order for decades